This week's Parsha, we learn about the Birkas Kohanim, the blessing of the priests. God told Moshe, I instruct you to tell Aaron, your brother, who's the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, that this is how he shall bless the Jewish people. But not only him, all the Kohanim for all of time should bless the Jewish people in such a fashion. Yivarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and protect you. Ya'er Hashem panav elecha v'yichuneka. May Hashem shine, may God shine His light upon you and give you grace. And finally, Yisa Hashem panav elecha v'yosem lecha shalom. May Hashem turn His face towards you and bless you with peace. I wanted to focus on the second sentence of the priestly blessings of the Birkas Kohanim. May God shine His light upon you. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean going to some sort of laser show and get some sort of light shown upon us? It's not coming from the person working in the back room with the lasers, rather it's coming down from God. What does this practically mean? May God shine His light upon you. So, just as a historical contrast, when the Jews left Egypt, they experienced many open miracles. They experienced the splitting of the sea. They experienced food coming down from heaven called the manna. They experienced finding water at the most unlikely sources in the desert. All these awesome and apparent miracles. And that's because God's presence dwelled with the Israelites, with the Bnei Yisrael in the desert. And after Moshe broke those tablets, there began a new world order in the sense that God's presence was no longer in an intense fashion manifesting itself with the Jews in the desert, but in a more distant way. And as time went on, to the beginning of the Second Temple, when the era of prophecy ended, and there was no more prophets, there was another step back, and we did not see the miracles that we once saw. And because God's presence is no longer felt in an intense way as it once was, from the Jews in the desert, the first temple, and then the second temple, we experience many things in life where we just don't have the answer to. So, for example, there are wonderful people that suffer in this world, and there are terrible people that have blessings in this world. We try to make sense of it, and we cannot. And that's because it says in the Torah, "Va'anochi haster aster panei bayomahu." God says, "I will conceal my face on that day." Doesn't mean that He's actually wearing a mask, but it's a way of relating to our relationship to Him in this time. That He's concealed, we don't feel His presence, and because of that, we don't understand many of the difficult circumstances that take place in the world today. And that's what the priestly blessing is coming to say, the Birkas Kohanim. Yo'er Hashem panav elecha. May God shine His light upon us. May we not be in this awful state of hester panim, of concealed state anymore. We want to experience God's radiance. We want to understand God's ways in the world. We don't want there to be these separations, these barriers anymore where we can't understand God's way in the world. Ya'er Hashem panav elecha. May God shine His face upon us. Folks, we live in a world where many times we do not have answers and we have questions. And that's just because God's presence is not felt strongly in the world like it once was, and His face is concealed. May we live to see the blessing of Ya'er Hashem panav elecha. May God's face shine upon us, v'chuneka, and give us grace. Have a wonderful Shabbos.